Go on, would you want?
I want to buy them pens again.
Yeah, would you?
I'll bring it back.
Can you get this on camera that I have?
Following the departure of previous manager Andy Heston-Tyler in October, Eastleigh FC have placed their faith in manager Ben Strevens, and the Spitfires seem to be energised by his recent appointment.
Yeah, it's a real good feeling and honour, obviously, to be the manager of this club. I come here as a player and then pretty much done every role. You know, I become captain of the side, and then one of the coaches stepped up to assistant manager last year, and yeah, now lucky enough to be the manager. Yeah, it was a good feeling to get the backing of all the guys, and now really looking forward to the challenge ahead.
It's clear that the players have trust in their new manager and his tactics, and alongside assistant manager Jason Bristow, Eastleigh's training seems to have stepped up a notch.
And straight in, let's go. Come on, nice and quiet, let's go.
He's good on the analysis side, Strevens, I think. And he showed that. I think he did a lot of it when the previous manager was here, and he's kind of taken it into his managerial role as well. And I think he was made for managing and made for coaching. I think as soon as the boys came in pre-season, you could tell he was enthusiastic and enjoyed doing it. So I think he's put that into his manager, and we all sense that. I think we all play off that as well. He's got a real a way of saying things, a way of getting the best out of people.
After a disappointing exit from the FA Cup, Ben Strevens is hoping the team can push forward in the conference and perhaps aim for promotion.
I certainly, as a person and as a coach, and now with the boys, I want them to be looking up towards the playoff positions and going that's attainable if we apply ourselves right, if we perform right, and they're training really hard, which is great to see. We've got a balance of younger players coming through that are hungry to get into the league and to show people that they're good enough to play there, and we believe there's a group of them that are good enough to play in the league. And then we've got some experienced boys now, the right type of boys that want to help them youngsters, and also got aspirations themselves to try and get promoted.
But how do Eastleigh keep up the pace with the other big teams in the league, such as Leyton Orient or Salford City, who have received great financial backing?
I think, being honest, you're talking as about Salford as a club. You know, we was pretty similar. You know, Stuart Donald was a great chairman. He come and joined in here in the Conference South. I didn't realise really what I was buying into at the time, but he was the same as Salford. He didn't want to stand still in the Conference South. He didn't want to stand still when he would come up into the National League. You know, he wanted to get promoted like they are. So they're doing great here. They're probably a little bit of a step ahead of us what we did. But that year we made the playoffs the first year up with the backing of Stu, and it continued to have Stu's backing over the last 2 years. Massive backing, you know, and bringing good players to this football club. The club, in terms of the fans of this football club, from when I first come here, the club and the fans grew at the same pace. You know, we went from not having masses of crowds to, you know, real good ones. You know, I played in the Bolton Cup tie here where we had a sellout, and it was amazing to see. And then a year after that, I think it was a year or 2 years after, we went away to Brentford in the FA Cup and we sold out the whole away end. So that was brilliant as well. There's a nice fan base here that they just want to see the team do well, and I think they want to see the players really caring about the club and playing for them. Because we had so much change over the last couple of years, I think there maybe was a little bit of disconnect between the players and the fans. For no fault of anyone's, you know, it was just because there was a lot of players. There was a change of manager, and managers bring in new players, and they want to change things for themselves. So I think the fans over the last couple of years have really struggled to really tie down, oh, that's my favourite player, or this, that and the other, because there's been so much change. But certainly this season I feel like it's coming back to the way it was. They've, you know, games this season, we've lost games and they've stayed and clapped the boys off the pitch and gave them real big support, and that's important for us. That's coming back, that real good atmosphere around the club, because it's a nice family club, and it's our job now to keep showing them that it's going that way, so they keep coming to support us, and hopefully the crowds rise again, because we was at one point getting some real good crowds here. We still are good now, but I do believe by us playing well on the pitch we'll get even better.
Going into the Christmas period, Eastleigh are just a few points off the playoff positions. But with a busy schedule ahead of them, one thing's for certain, the Spitfires look ready for a dogfight.